Hey Mark, how's it going? I was a little bored today, doing a little bit of maintenance in my fish room. And hey Berto, thank you for being here. I'm just kind of changing out some water. Figured, I don't want to be alone, so I do a little live stream and hang out with some people while I do my maintenance on my aquariums. Some of my 10-gallon tanks that are on the floor, so I can't use a siphon or anything. I got to use a little cup to scoop the water out of it, get down to the level I want them, and I do about a 50% water change on them. Here, let me show you what I'm doing. Let me turn the camera around. All right. So this is what I got going on. I got these aquariums down here that are under my rack. Obviously, these are way lower than the bucket, so I just have to manually remove some of that water, and that's kind of what I'm doing. Oh, you're in your last half hour of your shift? Well, thanks for being here. Like I said, I actually have to go into work today, and I got a little bit of time before I go into work. So I just figured, I noticed nobody's really live streaming today, or at least not at this time. So figured it, what the hell? See who pops up, hang out, chit chat for a little bit, and then get ready for work. So, but that's pretty much it. Hell, you know what? Let me drop the link in case anybody wants to come up. They're more than welcome to do so. But let me see. I have to go to guest, invite, copy, close that out. Let's see where can I post this? In the comments. Is it not going to let me do it here? How do I post on this one? I'm so used to doing this off of my computer that on the phone, every time I do, I always end up hey G3, how's it going? Every time I try to do stuff on the phone, I end up hitting too many buttons, kicks me out. How come I won't? Hey Rob, thanks for being here. That's nothing special. I'm just kind of hanging out in the fish room, doing some maintenance, doing a couple of water changes that I needed to get done. Kind of been putting off because there are aquariums that are on the floor, and you always tend to neglect those because they're so low on the floor that you never really get around to them. That's not gonna work. Got too many fry in there. So that's kind of what I'm doing. Doing stuff that I should have done a while back. But let me see. We'll post a comment. Here we go. Let me drop the link in there. See if any of you guys are interested in coming up. You're more than welcome to join me. There we go. Feel free. Yeah, but you know, it's the end of the weekend, getting ready to go back to, well, end of the weekend for me. I know it's what, Tuesday today? But for me it's I won't see another day off probably for about 7 days. And then I'll be switching. I'm going into my second shift at work. So basically I'll be working from 2 o'clock to 10 o'clock at night. And then after that, I rotate to the morning shift. And then when I go from morning to graveyards, that's the long stretch. That's about 15 days straight that we work. And then I'll have then they kind of give us all our days back to back. That's why I have like a 4-day weekend once a month. But and that's why I'd be on YouTube at all these strange hours. It's usually when I'm working either second shift or that third shift. But yeah, so just kind of wanted to hang out a little bit. I noticed nobody was, at least based on the calendar at the Fish Fam, I didn't see anybody going live. So I know there's times where I'm kind of looking around to see if anybody's around, anybody going live, because I'm just kind of hanging out and not having anything to do. That's kind of what I figured I'd do today. Although I know it's a weekday and people might be working, but there's a few people that have these weird schedules like I do. You guys have any? Man, this one's full of fry. I can't scoop water out because it's every time I scoop out, I have nothing but fry in here. I got to figure out a different way to do this so that I'm not pulling them out. You guys work 4 p.m. to, wow, that's it. That's an interesting second shift. Oh, so you guys, whoa. So you do a 10-hour shift and then a 12-hour shift. Before moving over to this new site that I'm at, we were doing 12-hour shifts. I kind of like that. I liked it because since we ended up only really working graveyard shift. It's kind of interesting the way they had set it up though, because for graveyard we were only working 4 nights out of the month, which was really nice compared to the seven nights up to 2 times a month, depending on where you fell in the rotation. And then we would come off of nights and we would have like 7 days off. And that was really nice. And then you come back and we had this weird schedule because they still had to give us 40 hours a week to be able to work. So when we would come back, we'd work this like training schedule. And that one was like 5 days, 8-hour days, which is kind of weird, but they use it to cover some of the shifts. If somebody needed to leave early or take a day off, we'd kind of be hanging around to cover a shift for somebody. But I still kind of enjoyed it actually turned out we worked less nights. Like I said, we only ended up working 4 nights out of the entire month. And we would be able to get a 7 days, and that's 7 days. You added any vacation time to it. Next thing you know, you're gone for 2 weeks. So, and you hardly ever use. Well, you would use a little bit more vacation time because now you're having to cover a 12-hour day versus an 8-hour day. But it was real nice because you could back it up to some days off, and it was just. It seemed to me like it was a little bit nicer. I didn't feel as tired sometimes. Whereas now, you come off of graveyards and it really does take me about all 4 days to fall back to a normal. It's the sleeping for me. Being able to fall back and sleep an entire full night. It takes me almost 2 entire days to be able to sleep a complete night through. Because the first night off, I'll come off because you get so used to when you're working graveyards, at least for me, I can't sleep. When I get off of a graveyard shift, I'll sleep 4 hours in the day, and then I'll get up, do some stuff during the day, and then probably sleep a few more hours before going to work. So it breaks up my sleep pattern. So coming off of that shift, trying to readjust, I know it sucks real bad. It sucks real bad. And it seems like the older I get, the harder it gets to readjust. Live that world now on the Monday to Friday. Oh, bless your heart, man. Bless your heart. Yeah, the problem is that I work at a facility that we operate 24/7, so we can't be shut down at all. So but like you well know, when you sacrifice some of that stuff, you get compensated in pay. So that's why I don't complain too much, because thanks to that employment, it allows me to do other things. It gives me a little bit of financial liberties that, maybe working a more quote unquote normal shift. Yeah, I know. And it doesn't matter. People say use the blackout curtains and darken the room. I tried doing that, but it seems like internally your body just knows that it's daylight outside. I still haven't mastered that tricking your body into. And I've tried the melatonin, and I've tried having a couple of drinks. Um, I just learned to deal with it. I know I'm not going to get more than. I'm happy if I get 4 hours during the day, because usually what happens is I get off of work at 6. By the time I get home, it's almost 7, and I tried doing the staying up until you can't bear it anymore, and then going to sleep. And that all that did was really shorten my day, because let's say I went to sleep around 10 o'clock in the morning, I'd only sleep 4 hours. Well, I wouldn't have time to go back to sleep before the start of the shift. And that was messing me up more. Where when I've found that works, especially right now when we're on this time shift, although we don't shift time, we don't rotate because I'm in Arizona. We stay put, but I get off of work at 6 and it's still dark outside. So if I get home and go to bed immediately, I usually can get a good solid 4 hours, 5 hours of sleep. And that has worked the best. I wouldn't say it's ideal, but it's worked the best. And then I'll be up, and I usually try to go back to sleep for at least an hour or so around 6 o'clock in the afternoon. Right now, days are a little bit shorter, so it starts getting dark around 6, and that usually helps. And I can usually sleep around to about 8 o'clock, get up, get ready, and then take off to work. I usually try to be on the road by 9:15. It's only about a 20-minute drive to where I work at, but it's one of those things where I don't want to run into having a blowout or unexpected traffic. And I like to get to work at least 15 minutes prior to my shift. We'll do the pass down, because it's usually working in the afternoons. It's just the yourself. You're by yourself at the control center. So I kind of like to relieve the guy a little bit earlier if he's got stuff to give me that I got an upcoming change that I need to be aware of. It gives me a little bit of time to look at what's going on, check my parameters or my levels, and then determine what it is, the change that I have to do, instead of running through it as soon as I come on. Yeah. Well, I'm very fortunate where I live. It's kind of an isolated community. And what I mean by that, we don't have a lot of through traffic. We're kind of like a bunch of cul-de-sacs. And so we don't have a lot of outside traffic. Usually the only traffic we get in here is our own neighbors. And, most people around my neighborhood have a normal life, which means that they're going to work by 8 o'clock, dropping off kids, whatever. So that's not an issue for me as far as noise. Just the occasional trash guy coming to pick up stuff. But I already know that's on Mondays and Thursdays for us. And but half the time I don't even hear it. So that's not really the issue for me. Is just the light, and knowing that the light is out. I don't know how my body can tell that there's sunlight outside, and that's always been the challenge. And I have shutters. I don't have those. I have shutters on my windows. Oh no. Let me take that. They're not shutters. They're blinds. And on top of those blinds, my wife has got some like regular curtains, and then I have the blackout curtains on top of those for when I work graveyard. And then I also wear that sleeping mask, which does help. But the problem is that I tend to move a lot at night. Or when I sleep. That if I rotate, there'll be a time where it'll get knocked out of my eyes, and I can kind of see that faint glow. But if I'm already really asleep, it's not that big of a deal. It's only when I'm trying to go to sleep. If it wakes me up, then I have to deal with it. But yeah, I could see how that could be a bear, Rob. You got all that shift work, and yeah, even just being close to an avenue that has a lot of traffic. Like my daughter in Vegas, she lives right off of right off of one of the major streets, and yeah, you can hear the road noise all day long. If it's quiet and you're sitting in the living room, you can hear it. That humming of the wheels. You know, but if you like white noise when you sleep, I guess that could be pretty good. But yeah. So this tank, I got so much fry in here. It's making it real hard for me to manually remove water without bringing out a bunch of fry with me. There we go. Still got one in there. 10 years, it was time to move on. Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, unfortunately, I got to figure out what I'm going to do, because I don't know if I could do this job, this rotation that I'm doing from now until, what is it, 15 more years before I could retire, before I hit 65. Or I don't know even know if I want to. Hopefully, there's some guys that have been there longer than I have that work more of a regular schedule. The only thing that I look forward to is that they've been with the company a lot longer than I have, but in age-wise, we're kind of similar in age. So I kind of look at that and I think, well, maybe there's not going to be an opportunity to move up unless they retire. But unless they retire because they've already got time in the company and they can afford to do that, then yeah. But a couple of the guys I think are even younger than me. I think Mario's the only one that's a little bit older than me, but there's 3 guys ahead of me that have more seniority. So we would have to have a serious turnover in our department, and there's not that many guys in our department. I think we have four dispatchers, 2 specialists, and the dispatcher 2. So what's that, 7? I think, yeah, there's only 7 of us. So 7, and then the one guy that rotates with the dispatchers. So there's 8 of us. So, but you know, you never know. Things happen. Opportunities do present themselves. I'm not opposed to taking a management job. I know some guys, they like to say that they would take a management job because I think that's kind of the cool thing to say. But I tell them, hell no. My idea is if I can get back out of the field, because I am in the control room right now, as a management position, I would definitely take that. Even if you have to be on call and all this other stuff, at least it's more Monday through Friday, even though sometimes you get rotated and you have to be on call and you can't do anything. I'd much rather do that than having to do the shift work. Unless, and this is something that I've kind of been pushing, and some of the guys are starting to buy in it, we go to the 12-hour rotation. Even though they would do it 7 on, 7 off, you know, it's still better, because that would be 7 on, 7 off for nights. See, I don't really like that, but because we have to complete 80 hours at the pay period, then you would be 7 off, come back 7 on during the day, and then you would be 7 off, and then come back 7 on at night. I think that would be a little bit better versus right now we do 40 hours swings. You get 2 days off, you come back and you do 40 hours mornings, and you get a day and a half, right? They say 2 days, but I call bullshit, because you're off one complete day, and that second day that you're supposed to be off, you got to go in at 10 o'clock. So it's not really just because you get 8 hours off doesn't mean that it's a day off. That's why I call it a day and a half. And then you're on for another 40 hours. And then at the end of that one, that's how you get, they'll back up your days off, and you'll be able to get 4 days off. But, you know, it's just, I took the job because it put me 20 miles away from my house. It was actually an increase in pay for me. Prior to that, I was driving hour 15 minutes one way, and but I kind of took that job knowing that in advance with the hopes that because that was going to be a stepping stone to get me to move closer to home. It was nice because I was expecting to have to do that other commute for at least 3 years. I only did it for a year and a half. They had some movement up at the dam, and it opened up a couple of positions, so I was able to take one of them. So at least in that aspect, it got me closer to home, and just doing the shift work. But it is what it is. I mean, as far as work related, compensation is probably one of the better paying jobs in the area. Um, it's got a lot of benefits. We got really good benefits, and the truth of the matter is, it's the agency that I work for. It's a little bit it's not difficult. It's quite hard to get into, and a lot of people are. I was trying to get in with this agency for at least 10 years. My mistake though was I was trying to apply for a lateral transfer from what I was doing with the county, and trying to come in and do that with the water district, and I had to actually take a step back to be able to take 2 steps forward. But it was only for about a year that I was actually making a little bit less money, and then after that, I started actually substantially making more than what I was with the county. So, hey, buddy, how you doing? Yeah, I'm just kind of hanging out here in the fish room, not really doing much other than trying to change some water, and just figured. No, I was actually, what happened was I was doing this work. I went to the Fish Fam link to see if anybody was live streaming, so I could kind of be listening and doing something, but I didn't see anybody going live other than Father's Fish showing that 24-hour stream on the aquariums. So I decided, what the hell? I haven't done anything anyways in a while, so I'm really using you guys as my company. I didn't want to be here in the fish room by myself. So there's nothing really substantial going on other than just slight conversation and you guys keeping me company. So thank you guys for being here. Let's see. Do I have anybody? I don't have anybody in the backstage, do I? I put out the link and I didn't. Let me see. Yeah, no, nobody. All right, just making sure that I'm not forgetting somebody back there since I dropped the link for the live stream in case somebody wanted to come up. See, for 47 years, Mark. Wow. I don't know what sleep is. I know that feeling, but 47 years, that's a stretch. That was the only downside to taking this new position was is the shift work. Even when I was doing on the previous job, we still did some shift work, but at least you were on the same shift for about 4 months, and then they rotate you. So at least there you got a little bit of consistency. Whereas now it's every month you're working all 3 shifts, so that makes it a little bit more challenging. Hey, Jeremy, thanks for jumping in. Hey, Adele, how you doing? Let's see, who else have I was so carried away in conversation that I don't know who else has come in. Or yeah, I got Mark, I got Berto. Hey, Miguel, how you doing? I got 3G. Yeah, so, well, thanks for being here, guys. I mean, it's all I'm really doing. Like I said, I didn't want to be in the fish room doing water changes by myself. So I figured I'd kind of hang out with some people, and if it's so early, coffee, that's all. What time is it over there in your neck of the woods, Adele? Because I know when for me it's like late in the morning, like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. It seems like it's the afternoon for you guys. Because you guys are full blown going. So I guess Aquashella finally decided to drop their dates. I was surprised to see that they cut back on sites. I really thought they were going to be adding a fourth site instead of taking one away. So that's interesting. So I don't know I don't know what's going on with that. And if that's just kind of the handwriting on the wall that they're having some trouble, or they're finding that, which is weird because Chicago I thought was your hometown, and they're not going to be in Chicago this year. They're doing Florida, which is no longer down in Orlando. They're moving to Dayton. Which one's well, you know what? Yeah, I don't clean my glasses. I did. Well, you know, it's not necessarily true. I do it once in a while. But yeah, I especially the ones on the floor. These that I'm doing, I really don't clean them much. They're kind of like the neglected, the autopilot tanks, which is horrible. But I don't know. It's weird because they're the ones that I ignore the most, and they're the ones that have the most fry. Here, let me show you. It is so crazy. These are like the abused tanks, I guess you would. Let me show you this. This is crazy. Although they are guppies, but there's just a gazillion of them in there. They're just everywhere. I'm trying to scoop water out of there, and every time I take a scoop, I can't help but to bring up a bunch of guppies. And yeah, I don't clean those front faces. I don't know. It's just once in a while I'll go by and clean them. Oh shit! Almost ran it over. That would not been good. But you know what? You made me self-conscious, Bunny. You see this? I'm gonna wipe it down. All right. Oh, it does make a difference, though. All right. That's a sensor. Yeah. Let's see. Not surprised anyone would be lucky to have you. Whoa, what did I miss with Glitch? See, why are we congratulating you, Glitch? Everyone, just great. Oh, okay. Congratulations. I know you were looking for employment. I thought it was a different kind of congratulations. I was like, whoa, when Bunny said anybody would be lucky to have you, I thought it was the big one. But yeah, a job is good too. Job helps pay bills. There we go. Hopefully I don't run that over. Tomorrow. Oh, okay. You're going to be on there tomorrow? I'll probably, you know what? I'll probably, see, I get off at 10. I'll give it a try, Adele. I'll check. I might be up because when I work second shift, usually I don't go to sleep right away getting from home. I can't. I usually end up staying late into the morning, at least 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning before I go to sleep. So I might be able to catch your live stream tomorrow. We lost Bunny, huh? She went somewhere. Oh, so cute. So where did you apply, Glitch? Well, those are done. Let's see. What time is it? I still have about half an hour before I start getting ready for work. Let's see. What else have I got in me going? I don't have any. Oh, let me get your guys' opinion on this. since I already have you guys here. Unfortunately, one of the things that happens on a regular basis here in my fish room is I never leave. I can't leave stuff alone. So I need your thoughts on this. I've got this aquarium here where I've been having an itch to rescape. Let me turn on the light so you guys can see it. And the other day I was watching one of the YouTubers, and I saw them turn kind of like a river tank. And I was thinking about doing that to this one, but kind of like doing like an embankment here, and then trying to leave all this as open area for these guys to swim. But I don't know. They seem to be doing okay, but I don't know if I should mess with it or not. It's just me. It's me trying to do something, because I've had this set up for quite a while now that I feel like I need to do something to update it. And I kind of hesitate a little bit because these guys are doing so well in here. Oops, you guys can't see that. These guys are doing so well in here that I don't know if me tinkering around with this is gonna mess up with, the harmony in the tank. It's got plenty of hiding spots for all these guys. I think I finally found the right balance of fish in here. One point I had I think it was 8 of these not Buenos Aires, but the Bolivian rams. But 8 was too many for this tank. I managed to have, I think there's 3 in here now, and they've kind of divided the tank up. He's got this corner. There's one in the back that I hardly ever, oh, there he is. I don't know if you can see in between. Let me see. No, those are the rams. He's kind of hiding back in there in that. Well, no, it won't focus. But anyways, he's got that area back there, and there's another guy that's got all this area for himself. So 3 is the most I can have in here as far as the Bolivian rams without them tearing each other apart. They'll go after each other and they'll beat each other up. I learned that the hard way, because one day I found one of them that was really, really, his fins were all beaten up and he was on his last leg. I thought 75 gallons was plenty of room for them, but apparently not. 3 is about the most I can have in there. And but this is the one that I'm thinking, but I think the one that I should change, leave that alone, and actually mess around with this one, because this is a pleco tank. No, that's the guy that was getting his butt beat, and he's managed. Where is he? Where? Oh, it's because this is backwards. Let me see. Let me mirror I gotta mirror it. There we go. Where is? I can't seem to pick him up on the. That's weird. Let me unmirror. So is that where I'm seeing? Where did he go? There, that guy right there. He was beat to shreds. So that's why he's got this whole tank to himself now. And he's made a full recovery. He's kind of happy there, so I'm gonna leave him there, because I know the minute I put him back up there, they're gonna go after him. He was like the smallest one of them all too. He's still on the skinny side though. I like to see a little bit more weight on him, but from as bad as he was, he's looking a little bit better. At least he's out and about. Before, he was just hiding in one of those caves down in there. Or this is the other one that maybe this should be the one that I do turn into kind of a river theme, since I have all that driftwood in there that's just kind of thrown in there for the plecos, which is probably what I'll do. And this one, well, it's got the same, this one I think is like 16 inches deep, so it gives me a little bit more area to play with. I just got to figure out how I'm going to create some elevation on this end. I got to play with some different stuff to see if I can get it so that I can have a slope that comes down, and then all this area would be open area for them. I have a bunch of fire green tetras in here, some rosy barbs, some ember tetras, a lot of shrimp to my surprise. This I was throwing all the coals in here because I figured if they got picked off, at least they were going to be part of the food cycle. But they're starting to thrive in here. So and the fish are not doing anything to them. And there's so many places for them to hide. I guess the shrimplets are growing out, and once they get to a decent size, they'll come out. But the more I stare in here, the more shrimp I see in here. They're not the best color, like this guy right here. They're just kind of like more of a wild type because they are the coals. But they're thriving, and they're bold too. They'll swim right in between the fish, like they have no worries in those worlds. They're just everywhere. They're like roaches. Well, that's probably what they are, is water roaches. But I thought for sure the Bolivian ram would eat them, but he leaves them alone. I guess there's too many in there. Once in a while, you get a nice one like this one down here, that cherry red right there. This one is, I could probably, if I pulled that one and start line breeding it, I can get that color up. This guy's not bad. Not as dark as I like them, but again, these are all coals that were in there originally. So, oh, this guy's nice. This guy's like a deep red. Where is he? Oh, where'd he go? Oh, there he is. Right there. Maybe I'm not going to pull him out. I always say I should pull them out and put them in a tank. And I do have spare tanks so that I could do that, but I figured they're doing well in there. Why mess with a good thing? But that was just something that I've been kind of tinkering with because I really haven't done much as far as content. So yeah, no, but the problem was for Aquashella Dallas, I was under the assumption it was going to be in August. So I had already made plans to be able to go out there in August. When they announced it in May, my wife and I, we had already made plans. We're going to go on a trip. And it's something that she's been wanting to do for a long time. And as a matter of fact, we've already done a down payment on the tickets. So there's no way. I mean, you know what they say, happy wife, happy life. Yeah, that I back out of that. There ain't no more happy wife and definitely no more happy lives. So, but you know, that's okay. I mean, maybe the November one in Daytona, I think it's where it's at. Maybe that'll work, depending on how the trip goes and how much we end up spending, because we are going across the pond for that one. So we'll see. I don't know. It's the first time we'll be headed on the other side of the pond for a vacation. So, that's always gets, you could always budget for stuff, but at the end of the day, the budget is just kind of a imaginary line. So, but the one that I think truly I can probably make, and I'm shooting to make, that is probably going to be in Seattle for Fishtoberfest, or the one with at Kenny's Fish Club. Just because it's going to give me enough time from May till then to be able to, and then those tickets are a lot cheaper, especially if you get them ahead of time. I think I was looking at it. If I book them, I could probably book them. Well, no, it won't let me book them now because I think only the flights are out all the way till May. And I have to wait till either February or March before they release the October dates. But for like $200, I could do the round trip, under $200, and that's doable. And then it's just the weekend, so accommodations, you're paying probably another, what, 250, $300 for the weekend. That becomes very doable. But the one in Dallas, I was kind of looking forward to it because I do have family in the San Antonio and Houston area. So the wife and I were kind of planning to make a road trip out of it. We would come in to San Antonio, go see my son who's there in the Air Force, and then drive up to Dallas, do the Aquashella, and then after the Aquashella, we would drive back down to Houston and go see our grandkids, and then from there drive home. But that all kind of got, changed because of the dates. The dates were moved. Hey, Steve. Hey, Boots. Thanks for being here. I'm just kind of hanging out in the fish room. I was doing water changes, but I'm already done with those. And yeah, and I managed not to overrun any of the tanks, so that's a good thing. And just kind of hanging out for a little bit more. I got about 50 more minutes before I need to start getting ready for work. Like I was saying, the only reason I hopped on is because I was looking for somebody that was live streaming to kind of listen to in the background while I was doing water changes, but nobody was going live, and most of the videos that are out there I've already seen. So I decided what the hell, I'll just go live for about an hour and just kind of hang out. Just see who comes over. But yeah, Oktoberfest might be a possibility. There was an event out of New Orleans that I wasn't aware of. Hey, Ritesh. Possible for bog filter. Yeah, I don't see why. I've seen them done where they'll take. Hold on. For an indoor pond, I cut this up because I was experimenting with doing some caves, but it's a little plastic planter, and you just kind of drill some holes on the bottom of it. This one. Let me turn the camera around. So there we go. Yeah, this one was probably about 14 inches long. I don't know if you're trying to do the bog in an aquarium or it's going to be a sort of pond, but we have this stuff down here. You can get these at like a 99-cent store, and these make excellent bogs because you can drill the side of it with the return and fill it up with whatever substrate you want in here. Plant your plants in here, and then the holes down here will be your return to the pond. So yeah, you could definitely do a bog. I've seen them done with these. I've seen them done with the pond baskets. So I've somebody had taken it was like a flat. It was like a little tote, similar triangular in shape like this, probably a little bit wider, and he was doing the bog in that. So bogs are definitely something you could do. Depends on the size of the pond you're trying to do that too. No, that is just regular jungle bell. I don't have any of I don't have any exotic species of plants. Funny enough, on that tank, I don't have any. It's just sand and gravel. But because it's my pleco grout, the bioload is pretty large in there, and I think that's enough to make that jungle bell thrive. But that's the only plant. I tried keeping other plants in there, and the jungle bell just choked them out because it's just growing rapidly. As a matter of fact, I need to pull some out of there. That's some of the stuff that I'm going to be sending over to Drew for his students. That one, that's probably predominantly the tank that I have a bucket full of jungle bell sitting back there that's also just stuff that I have to pull out constantly out of the front just so that I could see on the inside of the aquarium. But if I let it run wild, it'll overtake the entire tank. You won't be able to see in it. One time I just kind of was letting it see what it would do, and that's how I know. It got real thick.
making an 8-foot quarter circle pond to display the albino ray. Thinking of making some. So yeah, that would work. It's relatively simple. Depending on what kind of plants you're going to put in there, you might need or not need even a substrate. But the substrate helps to filter out some of the bigger debris that the pump will bring up. There's a lot of tutorials on YouTube, excellent tutorials that show you how to do a little bog setup. But yeah, that's definitely a possibility, and you can do it indoors. How creative you get with it, that's all up to you, though. I have none of the fisher cats. Oh. Albino rays. I don't think I've ever seen them. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen. I have no. Are they completely white, or is it just some of the? Would it be like the albino ball pythons, where they're not really white? They're kind of like brownish. To my little backyard pond in the spring. Yeah, like I said, I don't know. That's the only type of filtration that I don't think I've ever. Oh, that's what I'm gonna do. I have one of those lowboy tanks that I need to set up for my here. Let's go walk around my dirty garage. All right, let me turn this around. All right, you're gonna get to see some of my mess, but okay, I have this 29-gallon with all these shellies in here, and it's not a bad tank. The only problem, this is like wasted real estate, because anybody that's kept shellies in the past knows that they'll only stay about this high off the aquarium, and so all this up here is empty space. What I want to do, I had a friend of mine who actually gave me a tank where he was growing corals. One of those, I think it's a 50-gallon lowboy or something like that. It's this guy right here. The only thing is, I need to be able to plug these holes in the back, because he had it with he had some type of subsystem. So this is an easy fix. I just need to go get some glass, silicone it to the back. Well, actually, in the inside, because the pressure will be pushing out, and set this up for that for those the shellies. The only problem right now is I really don't have the room to set it up. Is the only reason why I've kind of have been neglecting to do that. My wife the other day was telling me, she goes, "Well, why did you?" Because she says she doesn't like the look of the horseshoe when you come into my fish room. She goes, "Why don't you set up all your tanks there?" She goes, "Move that stuff out of there and use that wall to set them up." So if I do that, then that'll leave me. What I want to do is, if I set that up, I'm going to put it on casters like this right here, do a little table for it, and that way I can move it around the fish room and be able to have it on there. And for the filtration system for that would be a neat idea to do a bog on that, especially because it's not that high. Let me turn this around. So, Ritesh, I'm taking your idea and I'm going to use it. And I'm going to hook up a canister up to the bulkheads on the lowboy. Yeah, the thing is, I don't have any canisters. And the canisters, they're okay. I like them, but I don't like the price. That's the only thing. Unless I come across somebody trying to get rid of one. For filtration system, I can't find myself wanting to drop more than $100 on filtration, knowing that there's other inexpensive methods out there that work just as fine. Especially with the shellies, I don't find them to have a huge bioload. I think if I had like peacocks or hats, because you have to heavily stock a tank, then yeah, I can see where canisters probably come in handy for those aquariums, because just the bio load on that is crazy. I know the 75 out here with the Acaras and the Bolivian Rams, I'm surprised how much waste they do produce. So, that's a possibility. And but on that one, I think I'm gonna do a little homemade box filter on it. Put some plants out there on the top too. So that's a thought. I got to figure out a way to do it so it's aesthetically pleasing and still meets the requirements. Because with shellies, it's really, really hard to have a planted tank, especially because they like to rearrange their own areas. Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I believe in that too. I mean, most of my systems in here are run off of air, so I'm either using sponge filters, I'm using under gravel filters, and I've even done my own under gravel filters. As a matter of fact, this is a little project that I'm working on for that 55 that I have. I had some extra PVC pipe. This is going to be more expensive than if I had just bought an under gravel filter for it. But because I just happened to have the PVC pipe laying around, wasn't doing anything with it. And then, the idea really, the truth is, it was just more for content creation than anything else. Because when it's all said and done, it is a lot cheaper to buy an under gravel filter for a 55 than it is to make it. Now, for my 140, this one up here, this one, it was worth having to do the under gravel filter for it, just because they don't sell anything that would have accommodated this one. This one in here, I kind of left that spot in there where you can kind of see the innards of it. It's the same principle of that PVC pipe in there. At first I was going to cover it up, but then I thought, you know what? I can use that to kind of show people. But yeah, this one has it. I'm running 3 filter systems on this. I'm trying. This is an experiment on the plenum filtration system, where you're using kitty litter and laterite mixed in together. That's what you see in here is the kitty litter and the laterite. Because I was trying to do the Dr. Novak plenum idea. I'm happy with it. But this tank originally came with an internal sump. Or not an internal sump, but what do you call it? The overflow box, and it's drilled on the bottom. So as you guys can see, I'm running also a sump system, which is a DIY system. That all this setup is pretty much DIY. Because the sump is basically a plastic tote. It was like a 40-gallon tote. Here, let me go around so I can show you guys. It was a 40-gallon tote, and it's a real simple. It's about as simple of a sump that you're going to be able to make. I don't have that much light back here, but see that under gravel filter system is for this 55 that I got sitting here. But this is just a plastic rubber tote, and all I did is I scavenged a bunch of ideas from the internet. This you'll recognize. It's one of those plastic dressers that are real common down here, stateside. And all I did was I'm using mechanical filtration with some polyfill. I've got some sponge that I put on the top drawer and some more polyfill, and I drilled it. So this rains down onto lava rock, which is my biological filtration on the second drawer. And on that one, I just drilled the side of it on this side, the entire side of that, to get all the water to flow this way and then flow around and come over here to this pump. And I got some extra biological filtration in here. And I got my heater in here. You can't see it, it's too dark. Let me get you guys some light. Hold on. Yeah, I got my garage full of junk. Let's see, do I have my flashlight? What am I going to do for light? I'm not really set up for that. Oh, hold on. Put that in there. Push that on. All right. Sorry about the camera movement, but I'm trying to walk and do everything at the same time. All right. So, yeah, we can see it here. It's a little bit more lit up. So it's a real simple setup. It's just the toad is just basically the containing the vessel. It'll hold everything in there. The filtration system is really just mechanical, like I said, which is just sponges and polyfill. And then down in here in the second drawer, it's full of lava rock, and that's my biological filtration. And one of the things I wish I could remember his name, because I would have to give him credit for that idea. Instead of drilling all the bottom side of this, because water is always going to find the path of least resistance. So if I drilled this side, the water was just automatically going to flow through here, and it wouldn't flow through the entire biological filtration, which is the lava rocks. So what I ended up doing, I only drilled this side, and I don't know if you're going to be able to appreciate the water flow down there. Let me see. No, it's too dark. Do I have my flashlight? Of course I'm not going to have my flashlight. Well, anyways, water comes out of this side, and it works its way around those edges, and then it comes over here. And then I have a little pond pump, which eventually I need to upgrade to a DC pump, because apparently this consumes a lot more electricity. And then I have it coming up, and that's it. It's a real simple sump. There's not a whole lot to it. Only maintenance I need to do is switch out the polyfill every so often, and that's it. Which actually I need to add some water because the water level is getting low. I'll probably do that right now. And so that's another. Oh, here you can see a better view of the under gravel filter that I made for this one. And yeah, it's got really deep substrate on there. But that was just that on that one. And then I have obviously I have some sponge filters that are in there, and that's more for mechanical, if anything. And truth be told, it's serving a mechanical purpose on this one. Oh, not my ugly mug. Let me get you guys to see the tank. It's serving as a mechanical purpose, although right now it's not really running. I need to probably pull it out and clean it. But it allows me to have already cycled media within the tank in case I need to do something in a pinch and be able to pull it out. But that's pretty much it, what I'm doing with that. So other than that, I don't have a whole lot going on in here. Now I got to start turning off some lights. It's getting time where I need to jump off of here anyways, because I need to get ready for work. Let's see. Did I forget to say hi to anybody that just came in? Let me turn this around. All right. Let's see. So I'm about to jump off. You can ship to me. What do you want, Berto? Let me know. I mean, most of the stuff that I have a lot of are going to be mollies, which is probably just food for your fish, and some guppies, and some plecos that are reproducing on the regular. But give me a call. Well, I'll tell you what I have and let me know what you might be interested in. And yeah, I'll be more than happy to do that. How do you clean the underground filter? I don't. I leave it alone. I've never had to find the necessity to clean it out yet. Granted, I've only had that for about a year. But from everything that I'm seeing out there, sorry, I didn't mean to get you guys that close. everything else that I've seen out there or heard from people that have had them for years, you really don't need to clean the under gravel filters. You don't get a lot of debris in the bottom. And in case you did have to do that, I've heard that you can siphon a lot of that stuff by using the uplift tubes and sticking a siphon hose in there, and you can siphon it that way. But according to Dr. Novak, a lot of the tanks that he's broken down that were running under gravel filters for years, you'd be surprised how little stuff really does get down there. So there's no need for to mess with the bottom of it. But yeah, the more effective it is. This one right now is, I shut off some supply lines. That's why you see so much air moving through the bottom of that one. But in a way, since that's the only uplift tube, here, let me show you. Let me turn this around. Okay, that's the only uplift tube that I have in this thing, and this is a 150-gallon tank. So the PVC pipe goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I forgot I want to say like 9 loops of PVC tubing in it. So even though it seems like it's a lot of air moving through there, the reality it's probably not moving a whole lot of water to the bottom of there. But you know, I haven't had any issues with it so far, knock on wood. And but like I said, it hasn't been running for more. If you look at my videos, you'll see where I made it, and I think this was like somewhere in March. I think it was like in March where I set it up. And so if anything, it's just starting to get seasoned. And I do have a little bit of hair algae because I've ran my lights. I have them, even though I have them on timers. Anytime I go live stream or do anything like that, I sometimes forget to turn them back off. Kind of like what I'm doing right now, where I just turned them on, and and I get myself in trouble. And I've had it where I didn't realize they were on, and they were running on for about a week, 24/7. Because I'd come in, I have them set up so that they turn on at 6 in the morning, and they're supposed to turn off at 10 in the morning. And usually when I'm working, by 10 o'clock, I'm usually either getting ready to work, go to work, or whatever it is that I have to do, that I don't see them come off. And when I get off of work, they're set to go on 6 in the afternoon to about 11. And I'd come in here and I thought, okay, the timer's working. Well, lo and behold, the timer was not working. Well, it wasn't working because it was on all the time. So, you know, that's why I got a little bit of it in there, but it's no big deal. I can go in there with a toothbrush and pull that out. What I do like though is that my Amazon sorts are really starting to take off in this tank. I've had them. I have some. You can't see it off of in here. The one you can really see them. That was pretty much the same size as these are in here. And in here they've been struggling a little bit to grow. Other than I have a bunch of them. I didn't know that you weren't supposed to have that many clustered together because they compete against each other. Once I moved one of them in here, he's really loving it there, and it's growing. My hope is that it gets at least up to this tall to fill up this whole area in here. I think it's going to look pretty neat once it gets, growing again. So we'll see what happens. But that's pretty much it. I mean, I got to jump off because I have to go to work, and I have to get ready for that. But thank you guys for hanging out. Normally when I do go live, it's on our other stream, our other channel, Fish Frenzy Mas. But I'm trying to do a little bit more in my own channel, and it's just going to be more random stuff. Nothing really planned or scheduled or anything like that. But you know, well, thank you guys for being out here with me. Hey Jay, let's see, did I miss anybody? Ryan, hello. Berto, I had said hello. Ritesh, I said hello. Bunny, Adele, Rob, Mark, I know was in here. Jeremy, Make sure I say hi to Jeremy. Who else? I know Adele was in here. Boots. Hello, Boots. And Stevo. Hey, Stevo. Thanks for dropping by. Let's see, I want to make sure I don't forget anybody. Ah, B-Wiz. Thanks for dropping up. What's up? See, I'm glad I went back, or else I would never have caught that. But if I look funny, it's because I'm staring at my screen. Glitch. Thank you, Nicole. And I think that's everybody. Getting to the top, Miguel. Thank you, Miguel. If you guys haven't seen Aquarios MBR, dude, you need to check out his channel. He has this stunning, I think it's like 180 or 200 gallon tank. Up until recently, he had a big old arowana with a bunch of discus, a bunch of tetras. It was one of those tanks that you were told about it, you would think there's no way possible that could work. And he was pulling it off like a champ. And the tank is immaculate. Really, just if you don't know anything about him, go check him out. Aquarios MBR. Recommend. He's out of Spain. G3G. Thanks for being here. I think that's everybody according to this. So thank you guys for hanging out with me for a little while I did my water changes. And I was able to share a little bit of my tanks with you guys, I guess. And, you know, I'll be seeing you guys on the streams later on today when I'm supposed to be working. So you guys take care. Love y'all. Bye-bye.